Hi, this is George Foreman. I'm going to fight for the world heavyweight title against Michael Moore November the 5th at the MGM Grand Hotel. Now, I'm going to need the greatest motivator in the world. Jimmy, I need you. I need you. I need that hairdo in my corner. I need you to motivate me. Send me some messages. If you're not there and if I can't catch up with you, I'm telling you, buddy.
Live from Miami Subs Grill in Dallas, Texas, with the music of Emerald City, this is Sports Waves. Now, here's your host, Mike Doocy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sports Waves. I'm Mike Doocy. Every week, right here, we talk football and who knows what else. With some of the biggest names in football, we'll talk the hot topics in football as well. So stay with us for the next hour. Some outstanding guests who we'll be telling you about in a moment. But first, allow me to introduce my co-host for this week's edition of Sports Waves from the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Irvin. Michael, good to see you again. You had a rare week off, a Sunday off. What does an all-pro receiver do with a bye week in the NFL?
Well, I tell you exactly what I did. I went to Vegas. My wife and I went out to Vegas. I wanted to go to Vegas after that Monday night loss. I said, let me go out there and get all the losing out of the way right now. And believe me, I went out there and lost some more. So hopefully all the losing is out of my system now.
You mentioned the Monday night loss to Detroit. Certainly the Cowboys have taken some shots over the past week. You individually have taken some shots. People are wondering about the offense. Is it all right? Are you all right personally?
We're fine. I'm fine. You know, the thing is about our offensive football team is we're a bunch of guys that expect so much out of each other and out of ourselves. And, you know, after the Pittsburgh game, we had a good game, and everybody started saying, oh, well, they look good. But we didn't get the ball in the end zone as many times as we should have. And I think the last couple weeks we have been pressing, trying to make things happen, trying to force things that are not there. I think once we relax, and most importantly, just have fun like we used to always have fun. Just have fun playing the game, everything will click.
All right, we have a lot to talk about this week, from the family feud with Switzer and Jimmy Johnson to the deflation of buddy ball. Also, we're going to visit in Cleveland with quarterback Vinny Testaverde and new Browns linebacker Carl Banks. And joining us in the studio, one of only 3 defensive players ever to win a Most Valuable Player award in the Super Bowl. Talking about Cowboys great Harvey Martin. He will be with us as well tonight here in the studio. A lot of talk around the country and certainly around Texas this past week. Jimmy Johnson made some comments in USA Today talking about how some players had told him that they questioned Barry Switzer's focus, and Jimmy didn't see how Switzer could have taken the night off before a game, missing team meetings, to go see his son play college football. Is this an issue? Was it ever an issue with the Cowboy players? Well, and is it an issue now?
Not within our organization. I don't think it's an issue. I mean, we hadn't thought about it, and believe me, nobody on our football team is whispered to each other, I can't believe you missed a meeting, or that type of thing, man. The only thing is an issue with it, quite honestly, Mike, is I think with the media and the people outside, and we can't let the people outside in the media make anything an issue within our family and our organization.
And I guess Jimmy Johnson would be categorized right now as a member of the media. You're saying you can't let him as an outsider affect you either?
He is a member of the media, and that's not a problem. He's someone that's right now outside the organization. Now, Jimmy, I consider Jimmy to be a very close personal friend of mine, but right now he is someone that's outside the organization, and we can't let what he said hurt us more than anything that anybody else said.
All right, this week's Waveline question will give you a chance to get involved at home. What effect can a coach's absence from his team the night before a game have on the outcome of the game? Major effect, little effect, no effect. It's just a coincidence that we have this question this week. Call 1-800-700-9002 to place your vote. The call is free. And now let's see who's riding the wave or stuck in the sand after the 4th week of the 75th NFL season. Certainly Joe Montana and Jerry Rice are riding the wave into the Hall of Fame. But, Michael, give us the names of 3 other players who you think are really playing exceptional football right now. I know you like the way Stan Humphries has looked with the Chargers earlier.
I think the Chargers look great playing football, man. They are Stan Humphries, they're undefeated right now, and I think they're the surprise in the league right now.
Humphries came back from a knee problem on Sunday and led them to a win. And how about Henry Ellard? Rams didn't need him anymore. Now he's led the league in receiving each of the last 2 weekends.
Well, you know, playing wide receiver is a funny position. I mean, I think if you get in the right system with the right coaching and the right quarterback, you can do a lot of things. And I think Henry's in the right system with a perfect coach out there, Norv Turner, and he's got 2 quarterbacks just getting him the ball right now.
Barry Sanders ran for 194 yards against you guys and continued against the Patriots this past weekend. They lost the game, but he had 131
40
more.
carries against us for 190-something yards and go and get 16 and still get 130 yards. I mean, Barry Sanders is, you know, he's just a great back, man. The way he plays the game, the way he runs when he get the football, man, he can amaze a lot of people.
As you know, on the flip side, we have a little feature we call Stuck in the Sand.
Yeah.
Your numbers are...
Hey, okay, I did allow y'all to put my name up there. Go for it. Okay, but quite honestly, and you know, you look at my numbers right now, I think I got like 14, 15 catches in 3 games, and it's not the numbers that I like putting up, man, but over a season, that's still 80 catches. I think I got to be careful here not to let a pebble turn into a boulder, worrying too much about numbers. Just make sure the winds keep rolling.
You getting the ball enough?
I never. Even if I had 90 catches right now, it's not enough. So, I mean, well, what difference does that make? I mean, you can ask me that question and I had 112 catches. I'll say, no, I'm still not getting it.
All right, number 2 on Stuck in the Sand is a guy who usually is outstanding. That's Denver's fine quarterback, John Elway.
Yeah, well, and I say Elway because just like everybody said, Elway's a player's coach out there, and the team is actually stuck in the sand. Elway hadn't had bad games, but their defense is giving up too many points right now, and their team is really struggling.
And finally, Buddy Ryan stuck in the sand.
And believe me, man, how could you not put Buddy up there? I know I'm gonna see the same segment right now in a couple weeks somewhere on some station in Phoenix, man. But how could you not put Buddy right there? You know, after all the talk and all the acquisitions they had, they still just are not playing good football.
Cardinals off to the 0-3 start. As we do each and every week on Sports Waves, we get our studio audience involved. They have some questions and sometimes some answers for our guests. Let's go into our audience now with Carolyn Neff.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome back, Michael. It's good to see you again. I'm out here with Jason Petrono, and I hope that you come back after this question.
Does Barry Switzer deserve to be have a clue what's going on the field, or should he buy a ticket?
Hey, look, Barry's doing a good job. I mean, if Barry would have came in here, I mean, you guys got to understand the position he's in also. What was he to do? Come in here and say, I'm putting down my foot. We had just won 2 Super Bowls. I mean, somebody going to say, well, where you going to put your foot down at? You know what I mean? You can put it on the door on your way out or anything like that. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's disciplining us when we need to be disciplined. I mean, we're all professionals. I mean, no matter what happened, we understand what we got to do. We understand what it takes to win ball games. And right now, he's doing a fine job, and he do understand what's going on.
All right, Michael, when we come back, a guy that you know pretty well, Vinny Testaverde, the Browns quarterback, joins us right after this on Sports Waves. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Heidi Kammer. And I'm Alice Williams. Sports Waves is brought to you by Apex Authentic NFL Pro Line Apparel, available at Foot Action.
By American Airlines, something special in the air.
And by Miami Subs Grill, great food served fast.
This time I do it all alone.
Back on Sports Waves, Mike Doocy with Michael Irvin. You know, the Cleveland Browns are one of 10 teams in the NFL who have never played in the Super Bowl, yet they do have one of the greatest traditions in NFL history. Now, owner Art Modell's trying to get to that Super Bowl, spent some money to get some big-name players in camp and trying to get some big-name players who can win the big one. Eric Metcalf, Vinny Testaverde, Carl Banks among those fairly newly acquired Cleveland Browns. Before we talk with a couple of the Cleveland Browns, let's take a look at how things are going in the Dog Pound, and here's Chuck Galletti.
30-year-old Vinny Testaverde took over as the Browns starting quarterback 6 games into the 1993 season, only to separate his shoulder in the 7th game against the Steelers. But later, Vinny would return, and in Anaheim set an NFL record, completing 21 of 23 passes against the Rams. In 1994, interceptions that haunted Vinny back in Tampa Bay plagued him again as he threw 6 in the first 2 games, including 4 at home against the Steelers September 11th. But since then, Testaverde has been nothing shy of brilliant, as Vinny has thrown 5 touchdown passes and scored another, electrifying Browns fans and leading Cleveland to a fast 3-1 start. Meanwhile, on defense, Carl Banks, who already has cashed in on 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, rejoined his former defensive coordinator Bill Belichick and teammate Pepper Johnson here in Cleveland, replacing fan favorite Clay Matthews. Banks, now in his 11th year, still making the big plays and bringing leadership to a defense where most of the players have never seen the postseason.
And welcome now from Cleveland, quarterback Vinny Testaverde.
Thank you.
There he is. Hi, Vinny. Thanks for joining us on Sports Waves. I'm Mike Doocy, and sitting next to me is a guy you might remember from your Miami days, Michael Irvin. Say hi to Michael.
What's happening, Mike?
How you doing, V?
I'm doing great.
Of course, you guys were a great combination in college, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a moment. But how about your 3-1 start? You had a nice game this past Sunday with 3 touchdown passes in the win over Indy. Things starting to click for your offense?
Yeah, it is. You know, Indy's a tough place for our team to play in. We've been snake bitten the last couple of years. We went over there, and it was a tough game for us, but we hung tough. We stuck together. We overcame our mistakes, and we were able to come home with a victory to make us 3-1.
Then let's talk attitude. I'm curious to know the difference in the attitude of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and now, especially since you're winning the 3-1 Cleveland Browns.
Well, I think the difference is that the Browns have an attitude to begin with, but you know how it was at Miami, Mike, when we were there. We had a big attitude, a great attitude. Guys wanted to go out and make the plays every Sunday or every Saturday in college, but here in Cleveland, you know, the strength of our team is our defense, and we know offensively if we don't make a lot of mistakes and we don't cause turnovers, that our defense is going to keep us in all our games that we play.
Vinny, in Tampa, you had the reputation as a guy with tremendous potential that never quite came true. How much has the change of scenery done to kind of resurrect your career?
Well, I feel like when I was coming to Cleveland that this organization was committed to winning. They had the players that had the talent to win. And for me to come into this town and have a new outlook on my NFL career, it really did a lot of great things for me, and I'm looking forward to having a great year this year.
What I want to know is, how do you leave Tampa Bay, your best receiver in Tampa Bay, Mark Carey, and bring him with you to Cleveland? Did you work that out for them or what?
Well, since I couldn't have you with me, Mike, I stuck with Mark. I had to stick with Mark because he, is a guy that in Tampa Bay really played hard week in and week out, was a guy that had a winning attitude, and both of us were free agents at the same time, and we actually had talked quite a bit about coming here together.
Vinny, Michael was telling me before we went on that basically you owe him half the Heisman Trophy.
Hey, I didn't tell him that, Vinny.
No, I'm kidding. But obviously you guys were a tremendous combo at Miami. Talk a little bit about those days and what it was like to play in that atmosphere. You touched on the attitude a little bit earlier.
Well, I made Mike what he is today. He wouldn't have been that great receiver. It's true, Mike.
And I appreciate it wholeheartedly. I do.
But seriously, Mike in college was a great receiver, along with a lot of other players, to help us have the success we did, and also help Jimmy to get to the spot that he's in now.
You look at your schedule, Vinny, in Cleveland. You got the Jets at home, then an open date at Houston, then you've got Cincinnati at Denver. On paper, you guys have the potential to really put some wins together here.
Our confidence has really grown since training camp, and we feel like we have a lot of talent in this ball club, and with each win that we get every week, our confidence grows even that much more. We have some injuries right now, so we'll be very happy to beat the Jets this week, go 4-1 into the bye week, rest up, heal up, and go into Houston and try and get that one. Okay,
Vinny, let's go into our studio audience now. Carolyn?
Hello, hello, hello. I searched high and low, but I did find a fellow Brooklynite to ask you a question. What's your question? This is Robert Rosenthal.
Yes, Vinny. First of all, what part of Brooklyn are you from?
Actually, my parents are from Brooklyn. I'm from Long Island.
Oh, Long Island. Okay. Sheepshead Bay. Also, do you feel your career is finally getting on track?
Yes, I do. You know, coming here into a new scenery, a new team, I feel like my career is back on track where I wanted it to be before I went to Tampa.
Vinny, what's the difference in offensive styles? I mean, when I look at you now, you look so much more comfortable sitting in the pocket. You look upfield. If it's not there, then you check down. I mean, in Tampa Bay, what was the difference? Why could you not do more of that at Tampa?
Well, I think here in Cleveland, we have the talent to help me out much more and utilize my talents better within our offensive philosophy and the play calling. We have an offensive coordinator that's very aggressive, likes to take chances, and I'm a type of quarterback that's very aggressive and likes to take chances at times. So I think our styles are very comparable.
Vinny Testaverde, we appreciate you joining us from Cleveland. You will be receiving a custom suit from Lombardo's, and we appreciate your time tonight. Vinny Testaverde in Cleveland tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny.
And we'll be back on Sports Waves after we show you how you can get a T-shirt and a cap at bargain basement prices. Stay with us.
Sports Waves is sponsored in part by...
We're back on Sports Waves, and we're going to be going back to Cleveland. Vinny Testaverde will stick around with us, and we'll also welcome one of the great linebackers over the past several years in the National Football League. 11 years ago, the third overall pick in the draft, went on to a 9-year career with the Giants, where he helped the team win a Super Bowl after the '86 season. After 1 year with the Redskins, signed on with the Browns as a free agent on June 2nd of this year. Please welcome from Cleveland, Carl Banks. Hi, Carl. Thanks for being with us. I'm Mike Doocy, and Michael Irvin is here with us as well. Your defense has allowed 51 points in 4 games. You're off to the 3-1 start. You've got, according to points allowed, the top defense in the AFC. Why is it clicking for you on defense?
Well, we don't have to see Michael Irvin and the Dallas Cowboys every week.
Hey, Carl, believe me, I'm glad you out of the East, too.
Not as glad as I am. Well, I think the number one thing is we're playing good as a defensive unit, and Bill Belichick has been known to put together some pretty stingy defenses, and Nick Saban, who is our coordinator, has done a fine job of making sure he doesn't put his players in bad positions, and I think that's a very key thing in the NFL now, that you have these rule changes to allow those offensive linemen to sit back, and this different rule changes to increase their points. So we have to really stay focused on what we're doing and be a little more conservative on defense.
Talk about playing in Cleveland as opposed to playing in New York, where you starred for so many years.
Well, the only difference in here in Cleveland as opposed to New York, I guess I have a lot younger players, and I'm an older player now, but the talent levels are similar. We have a great deal. As a matter of fact, we have an abundance of talent in the defensive backfield and up front, whereas in New York we had selective talent, and we had a core group of, I would say, a supporting cast. So I think we have an excellent group of guys here that work well together.
Carl, what's the strength of your game? Now, I know it. I just want to hear what you say so we get ready to play Cleveland. I can give my team the scouting report. Now, is the strength of your game stopping the run or pass coverage?
Well, everyone...
Don't lie to me, Carl.
Well, I tell you, my trademark has been playing the run, but I am an effective pass coverage guy when put in the right situations. As long as, Mike, let's make a deal before I go any further. If you can tell Jay Novacek that I'll pay for his vacation that week, then I'll be fine, and we can all have a great game together. But when I'm playing against Jay Novacek, he's one of the most difficult tight ends to play in the league. He's a very crafty guy, and I think he's been hanging around you receivers too long because he don't drop any balls.
Yeah, Jay is a great tight end.
Let's bring Vinny Testaverde in for a quick question again. And Vinny, talk about the defense and what it's meant to your football team and the addition of the guy that's sitting next to you there, Carl Banks.
Well, Carl's been a great addition to our team this year. You know, he brings a lot of experience, experience from a Super Bowl winning team, and a guy that a lot of the young players around here look up to. And our defense, like I said earlier, has been our strength this year, and they're going to keep us in a lot of ball games. And offensively, if we just continue to go out and play hard, we're going to win ball games because of them.
Well, any one of you guys answer this question. I mean, you look at the team, and I hadn't really thought about it now, and I'm thinking about it a little more. You guys brought in a lot of great veterans, a lot of old veterans, a lot of guys that know what it takes to win. Do you have that attitude that now we got what it takes to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, I think you have an attitude that'll get you there. You know, for yourself, Michael, that it takes ability to get there, and a lot of things have to go right, but when you have guys there with a lot of experience and a winning attitude, you can help some of the guys that may be maybe wavering a little bit as to which way to go and persuade them to go in the right direction. So I think we have ability, and I think we can put together the right attitude, and if we don't make the mistakes that hurt good teams, we could have a good season this year. I won't go as far as saying going to the Super Bowl, but if we have a good year and we can make the playoffs, anything can happen.
Carl, stand by. We have a question from our studio audience. Actually, let's go outside for the question. Carolyn?
Thank you, Mike. I'm out here on the patio at the Tiki Bar with Emerald City, and Dwayne Hager has a question for Carl Banks.
Hey, Carl, I had an unusual story about you. When you were in college, you used to work at a graveyard. You care to comment about that?
Well, yeah, I used to work in a cemetery for, I think, starting in my high school days all the way through college. I used to dig graves, and it was a nice little job I had. You know, it was peaceful, and people were dying to get in there.
Is that the first time you've used that line, Carl? I don't think so. I asked Vinny about this, but let's talk about your schedule coming up. You've got the Jets at home. You've got an open date then at Houston, Cincinnati, and at Denver. As we talked with Vinny a few minutes ago, it would look like your schedule is pretty favorable to allow you to string some wins together here, huh?
Well, you really can't concede anything in this league. You have to prepare yourself and stay focused, but I think if we handle our business, we'll have a good chance to win a lot of these games that are coming up. But as I said, every team in this league, everyone's capable of beating anyone. So we have to stay focused, and we want to be on the winning end of these games. So it's up to us actually how good we'll play and how good we'll fare in this stretch here.
Carl, now when you guys play us, man, just take it easy. You know what I mean? It's okay if you lose one game. Yeah,
well, you know,
I hope you guys
Michael,
beat everybody, but when you come here, man, we got enough problems, man. Take it easy, okay?
You know, you guys can make it a lot easier for us, and maybe you, Emmett, and Jay Novacek, and a couple of those big linemen can, you know, take a free vacation on me that week.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Carl and Vinny, we appreciate you joining us from Cleveland tonight. Let's hear it for the guys from Cleveland. Both of them will be receiving gift certificates from Lombardo Custom Apparel. Good luck to both of you this year. We'll be back. Cowboy great Harvey Martin joins us. We'll see you in a couple of minutes on Sportsway. Back on Sportsway, it's Mike Doocy with Michael Irvin, and we're going to talk a little bit now about this past week's games in the NFL. Michael, on the graphic, the Saints' longest run from scrimmage this year is by their punter. That doesn't say a whole lot about their ground attack, does it?
It doesn't, but I mean, if you looked at the game this week, and I had a full chance to look at it against San Francisco, they played pretty good. I mean, they were right in the game till, of course, that interception by Dion later on.
probably the game of the weekend was that Miami-Minnesota game. Dolphins were down 28, came back and tied it. Minnesota pulled it out. What'd you think of that one?
You know what? I was sitting up looking at that game. I said, man, this is perfect. This is what the NFL is all about. It can give you a heart attack at any moment. They're up 28-0. And, you know, momentum is such a major role. They scored 2 seconds before the half, and then next thing you know, it's 28-28. So you never know. You can go up by any amount of points, but you never know.
So the Dolphins were dealt their first loss of the year. Let's take a look at some of the other games from Week 4 in the NFL.
Problems today. Neon Deion Sanders gets his first start for the 49ers. Would he make an impact? Yes, the Saints on a possible winning drive late. Neon picks it up, and he's gone. He'll go all the way, and he'll do a little high step for us, Neon, as you take it on in. He'll be fine for that. Seifert said he couldn't high step before the 20. I don't think old George cares about that as the Niners get the win over the Saints. The Redskins' Henry Ellard, what a year he's having early on. You mean to tell me the Rams couldn't use this guy? Look at Ellard here, 73 yards from John Freese. The best is yet to come. It's a play you'll flip over. But Bert Emanuel had an even better catch. He lands a hand to Jeff George, one hand, and he's off to the races. Atlanta beats Washington at RFK. The Rams were in the Chiefs' faces all day long in Kansas City. Now watch this play. Willie Flipper Anderson on the outside, on the sideline. Watch him running up the sideline, beating his man. The ball is tipped, but Flipper is right there to juggle and make the catch. It was that type of day for the Rams, and, well, that type of day for the Chiefs and their fans. A rainy one indeed. Bad one for Joe Montana. He's shut out for the first time as a pro. 2 fourth-quarter interceptions. The Chiefs lose for the first time. In L.A., the motto was just eat, baby. The Raiders and the Chargers. Watch this play. Lionel Washington sticks with it. It's tipped 3 times, and he makes the interception and returns it for a touchdown. Raiders lead by 1 late, but there's still hope for San Diego because they have John Carney. And as time runs out, Carney is right through the middle. San Diego stays unbeaten, 4-0, 26-24. The polite touchdown of the week, Seattle's Trey Junkin, the backup tight end, makes the catch from Rick Meyer. It's a TD, and Junkin is so grateful. He comes up to his offensive coordinator afterwards and says, hey, man, thanks for calling that play. Think he could do it again next week?
So the Giants, who had a bye, are unbeaten, and the Chargers are unbeaten as well. Those are the only 2 unbeaten teams in the NFL. Buddy Ryan's Arizona Cardinals are not unbeaten. Bunny ball has not worked early on. The Cardinals were off this past Sunday, and it's probably just as well. Buddy ball doesn't seem to have the bounce it was supposed to have had. With an 0-3 start and a quarterback controversy, Cardinal fans are quick to say that Buddy ball is deflating. Here's Todd Withorn.
As they say in the biz, the numbers tell the story. Only 3 TDs in 3 games. Shutout Sunday against the Browns. Last in offense in the National Football League. Answers, anyone?
I don't think it's my fault any more than it is Jim McMahon's fault or anybody else's. I mean, I think a lot of people are responsible.
I'm only as good as the players that go out to play. If they execute like they should be, then, hey, everything's great. If they don't, then, you know, it's my fault, even though I don't catch any passes or throw any passes.
One point in question is, who's going to take responsibility for the offensive woes?
Switching quarterbacks is not the answer. There's a lot of problems offensively that we have. We've got to get better across the board. There's no doubt about it. We are not the same offense we were last year, no matter what Coach Ryan says or what anybody else says. We may have the same people for the most part. We may have the same terminology for the most part, but we're running a totally different philosophy of offense.
As for the big picture, Buddy defending his opening comment when he came in town. Is there really a winner in town?
You came in and said you got a winner in town.
Got a winner in town.
That's right. 0-3.
That's right.
Saying we aren't winners.
That's right. We're not.
But to lose their confidence, those guys are rattled.
Who's confidence?
Your guys. Some of your guys, I mean, they have to look in the mirror when they get beat 32-0.
Well, sure, they better look in the mirror, I guarantee you.
Buddy's got some work to do. I think he can do it, but he's got some work to do, so I can go and enjoy the games again.
Cardinals are in a world of trouble right now. What do you think about Buddy?
Well, I think if he needs a job, I got an opening for a night driver.
So, buddy ball is not exactly catching on in Phoenix. Michael Irvin, you see the Cardinals a couple of times in the next 5 weeks, I guess, so you're probably not going to say too much about it. But is it possible that this team just isn't going to be able to recover? I mean, they're 0-3. There's obvious dissension. You see it from that package. Is it possible this whole season's already lost for this team?
Well, I don't know if I would say the whole season. And quite honestly, Buddy's team always starts, especially when he picks up a new team and he goes in and teach them that new defense. And it's a serious defense to learn. I mean, a lot of times, I know we don't know when we play buddy teams what they're doing on defense, and I'm pretty sure sometimes the players don't even know what they're doing on that defense. I mean, so it's just so many people running around, man. Sometimes you just, when it's working, you think there's 15 guys on the field, but when it's not, you think there's 7. So, I think they'll get it together sooner or later.
We'll be back in a few minutes with former Super Bowl MVP Harvey Martin. But the band that you enjoy each and every week on Sports Waves is Emerald City, and Dino and the guys are going to take it away right now. Dino.
Dino, we're the Emerald City Band. Here's some original music for you right now from our CD. Look at me, I can believe it's not a fantasy. Now I know what it's like to be back in love again.
I walk a million miles more, 'cause I'm the girl, good, old, nasty.
Welcome back to Sports Waves. You just saw our next guest in kind of a theatrical mode. We'll ask him about that in a few minutes, but he's best known for his prowess on the football field. One of just 3 men to be named a Super Bowl MVP as a defensive player. And the year for this guy was 1977. Welcome, Dallas Cowboy legend, Harvey Martin. Harvey Martin, ladies and gentlemen, how are you going to see you? All right, we saw the video just a few minutes ago of you in action. Now, this is you on the football field. Before, we saw you on stage, a 1982 production of Damn Yankees. Did you? Tell us, you thought we'd forgotten. Tell us about that real quick.
Well, I was Applegate the Devil, who's not a bad guy, really, in that movie. But it was a real good movie. I had Misty Rowe come in to play it. I enjoyed it. I got a chance to really find out what acting was like, and I love it. I've done a lot since then.
All-time sacks leader for the Dallas Cowboys from 73 to 83, 113 career sacks. When you look back now on your career, when you look back now on your Dallas career, what are the, I don't know if I want to say the individual highlights, but just what do you remember about your career, things that you take with you for the rest of your life?
Actually, the team I was on, the guys that I was with, a cast of characters, Too Tall, and especially Drew, who's my roommate for 11 years. We had a real good time. I think I really love the city, the way the city has been and has stayed, especially with Michael and the guys keeping up the tradition. It's wonderful still to be here. I mean, I love our fans. That's what I remember the most is the people that say I love you when you're down and when you're having your toughest days and they don't know it and they come up and say, God, I love you, or man, you're okay. It makes you feel real good.
Well, you know, and I'll say this in front of everybody now. My man here, Harvey, and I will have our powwows every now and then, and I have told Harvey plenty of times that I tell him thank you. Whenever I get a lot of the older players, the players that paved the way for us, I do say thank you whenever I get a shot. So I do think you guys deserve a big hand. Well, because y'all, you did make it, well, you made it what it is. You really did.
I appreciate that. You know, I travel around the country doing a lot of things, and before the new regime actually took over, Michael, I'll let you know this. Being part of the Cowboy Legends team, we played basketball, volleyball, baseball in different towns. And once you started winning again, all of a sudden the phone started ringing a bunch. We're gone every weekend and just keep winning. Please keep winning.
Harvey, you certainly experienced the spotlight, and you know how brightly it can shine in Dallas on a Dallas Cowboy team. You've got this current Dallas Cowboy team losing one football game, and a lot of people are wondering what's wrong with the Cowboys. Are you kind of amused by that now as you look at it? Because I'm sure you went through that back when you played.
Well, actually, it's something that goes with being a Dallas Cowboy, and the legend of the Dallas Cowboys, the mystique of you're not supposed to win. The fans are so used to you winning, but every now and then a loss helps bring a team back down to earth. I hate to say that. I wish you could win every ball game, but every now and then a loss gets everybody to get a self-check. Once you get the self-check, you go back and pay the price that it takes to be the best in the business, and that's any business.
So you saying it was like that when you was playing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, okay.
That hasn't changed.
Let's go back into our audience now. Carolyn Neff with an audience member who has a question. Carolyn?
Hello, here we are once again with our wonderful, wonderful studio audience. And I'm with Tim Walker.
Harvey, could you tell us about the time you threw the funeral wreath into the Redskins locker room?
Well, that was one of my most proudest moments, actually. The fan sent it to me quickly, and I sat in front of my locker for a week, and I thought, man, you know, most of the time you don't get a chance to see your own funeral wreath, so it became real personal. So I took it to the game. We actually won the ball game. I had no idea where the visiting team's dressing rooms were, so I just asked somebody to show me directions, and I grabbed the wreath, and I went in, and, excuse me, Lord, the Redskins was praying, and I threw it on them when they were praying. Well, you know, and I still hate the Redskins today. I still hate.
Hey, so I don't know why you mentioned it. Now somebody's gonna go, they're gonna put that up there, and them guys, I'm gonna be going across the middle, and they're gonna come and hit me and say that was for Harvey. That's for Harvey.
So if I was there, I'd definitely give it back to him.
All right, guys. Every week we have what we call here in Sports Waves a celebrity pick 3. One guy who always seems to have an opinion is George Foreman, the great fighter. Here's Foreman with his celebrity pick 3.
Yeah, I like Dallas, of course, because Dallas lost one of the last games. They got to go out there and prove it now. They can't lose for another 5 or 6 games. Dallas got to win. Montana's going to surely be hot. I pick Kansas City. They're hot. Let's face it, that quarterback down there, Dan Marino, he's trying to scare the whole world now. Nobody's going to stop him. I think he's going all the way to the Super Bowl this time.
There he is. There he is, George Foreman. He likes Kansas City, even though they aren't playing. We have just a little bit of time. What do you think about the Dallas-Washington game coming up this week?
I think Dallas is going to, I think Dallas will win the ball game. I don't want to say what I feel they will do to the Redskins, but it will happen.
All right, Harvey Martin, we appreciate it. Michael Irvin and I will be back with more Sports Waves. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
So, Jay Lombardo, tell us, who is the best dressed man at Lombardo?
All my guys are best dressed. Look these guys first.
Hey, we don't need to play sports this.
Hey, nobody's looking better than me. Myself. Problem is, Mikey, you got a bad show. You need something to say.
A big kahuna.
Last Sunday, it was Barry Sanders running circles around the Patriots defense on his way to a 131-yard rushing day. But the only number that matters to Barry is 59, the 59 yards by which he leads the idle Emmitt Smith in the NFL rushing race.
Welcome back to Sports Waves. I'm Mike Doocy with Michael Irvin, who has another question and or comment for Harvey Martin.
Well, the thing I want to know is, you know, I get the flack for asking for the ball a lot now, and I wonder, since you were Drew's roommate, did he always ask for the ball? Because I want to know if it's in the jersey that I wear, if it's just something that comes out of the jersey.
Well, Drew used to talk about that, and actually it was Tony Hill that used to ask for the ball all the time.
Oh, okay.
The thrill did, but then Drew always asked for it, too. He'd be in the room some nights before the game, and he'd go, man, I hope Roger throws me the ball. I hope you catch it. I just want to win. That's all we wanted to do.
You guys, and Harvey, I wanted to ask you about this. You've been out of the game for about 10 years now, and you see all the labor strife in sports. You see baseball ending its season, hockey maybe not going to get started, basketball talking about a lockout. Football players aren't happy with their contract. As a former athlete and a guy who didn't get in on the huge money that some of these guys are making today, what do you feel about some of the problems that we're seeing?
Some of the problems, well, actually, if you're an athlete and you're using your body, whatever sport it is, you have the right to get as much as you can. Because I've seen horror stories throughout the league, baseball, basketball, volleyball. It doesn't matter where something is broken, something is severed, and you're never the same again. And if that's your profession, like in any business, some businesses go for years. Football's not like that. Basketball's not like that. Baseball's a little bit different, but the violent sports, I think that the players should be compensated for that, because that's something a normal person really wouldn't do.
All right, guys, we're going to shift gears here for just a moment. As you see throughout Sports Waves, the Waves help us out a lot with the show. They're also here to help the community, and Wave Heidi Kammer is here to tell us how the Waves recently supported Special Olympics.
Waves, and Mike, I think they have what it takes. What do y'all think?
No doubt about it, Heidi, that's for sure. Great job. We'll be back. Stay with us. More Sports Waves coming up.
Hi, I'm Heather Hoyt. If you would like to be a part of the crowd here on Sports Waves and clap yourself silly, just send us a card. If you're planning on being in the Dallas area on a Monday, write to us at this address. Come on, it's fun. And the best part is, it's free. Now back to Mike Doocy.
Before we say goodbye on Sports Waves, let's take a look at the Wave Line question. We have some partial results in from our poll. The question was, what effect does a coach's absence from the team the night before a game have on the outcome of the game? According to the folks who have called so far on the Wave Line, major effect, 22%, little effect, 31%, no effect, 47%. All right? And again, that's the Wave Line number, 1-800-700-9002. Quickly, Harvey Martin, we thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
You've seen all three of the Dallas coaches in action.
Yeah.
Early report card on Barry Switzer.
I like Barry. I think Barry did the right thing coming into a team that was established and that was a winner. All he had to do was come in and not try to show the guys what to do, but to observe what made him successful. And he's done that. Now, I really like Barry.
All right, and Michael Irvin, quickly, if you just touch on the Washington game. Norv Turner knows your offense pretty well. It's going to be interesting going up against him, huh?
Yeah, it will be, but the important thing for us to do is worry about what we're doing out there. I mean, make sure that we go out, don't try to press, have fun, and just execute. And no matter what, if we do that every week, we got the talent to not lose another game.
All right, guys. Michael Irvin, thanks for co-hosting tonight. I enjoyed it. Harvey Martin, thank you. I'd like to thank our other guests as well. Vinny Testaverde and Carl Banks joining us from Cleveland tonight. All of the folks will receive Lombardo's gift certificates. Jimmy Johnson will be here next week. Norv Turner will be on the show as well, plus Howie Long and the Moose, Daryl Johnson. I'm Mike Doocy. For everybody on Sports Waves, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Wardrobe by Lombardo Custom Apparel, America's finest custom clothier. Accommodations in South Florida provided by the Marriott Key Largo Bay Beach Resort. And in Dallas, Jimmy Johnson and his guests stay at the beautiful Melrose Hotel. Sports Waves is a presentation of DCL Media and Lone Star Hospitality Corporation.